Thank you guys for tuning in today. This is the Barnwell Senior Activities 2021, and our first team is, of course, going to be Chris and Mobile Mentors.
Mobile Mentors, technology made easy.
Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in today. This is Tech 101 with Mobile Mentors. We are so excited about today's show. We are looking forward to doing a little bit of everything today. Over the past few episodes, if you've missed those, be sure to check out the Facebook page. David's going to list it down below, or where you can find these resources at. But I've had a couple questions and a couple people reach out to me. And so what's been neat is I've had I did actually a training lesson with my mother on how to use her camera. And so everyone calls my mom Miss Elaine. And so this lesson today is going to be a culmination of all the things that I've kind of went through this past time with my mother. And so I like to call it miscellaneous, because it's going to be a whole bunch of different things that are in there. And we're going to focus mostly on the camera. We had to figure out a way to get the camera to work on the phone, to stream, to get to here. But that's beside the point. We're going to go in and we're going to look at those different things. We're going to look at how to download applications. We're going to look at what is, when it comes to banking information, or a little bit more about handling banking things on your devices. We're going to talk about notes on your device, as well as reminders. Now, I will say this. We are going to be using an iPhone today. So if you don't have an iPhone, don't fret. Most of the things that we are going to be talking about today are universal, that will go between phones. But the other thing is if you do have a different phone, or if you are unsure of how to do something, put it in the comments below. And maybe next week I'll address those exact concerns that you have on that particular phone. Because one of the main reasons why I like to post things on this channel that deal with the iPhone is just based upon the software. The software changes very frequently throughout Android devices. So it could be different features and functions that only happen on one specific phone. So I don't want to give anybody false hope or not show them how to do a specific thing, but I'm going to be showing this on iPhone, where it is universal across the board, and almost every single person. I believe the statistic is about 92% of people who are on iPhone are on the latest operating system. But what I want to get into today is the camera. Now, hanging out and speaking with my mom, we got into the fact that she is not a technology person. She doesn't really enjoy technology. But the thing is she only enjoys it when it pertains to something that she already enjoys. She's able to make the phone something that she wants because it is customized to her. The thing that she enjoys is telling me about her day, what she's been doing, how she's been doing, sending me photos of the dog, or of the flowers that she's growing, or what's happening in her day, or whatever it may be. But the way she does that is through the camera. And so without the use of the camera, or a fearful understanding of the camera, she's unable to kind of express that. So today what I want to do is I want to go into the camera as a function that we're going to use to further express ourselves to our family members. We already talked last week about our FaceTime and using the camera to video conference with our family members. But now maybe we don't want to have that long conversation. Maybe we're just playing bridge, or maybe we're hanging out with folks, or maybe we caught a fish and we want to showcase that fish off to other people. And so in doing so, we want to be able to use our camera to capture those moments and then show them to people throughout the times that we spend with them. So what we'll do today is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get David to go ahead and pull up the iPad screen for me. And so right here, I'm actually going to walk you through. So if you switch over just to the iPad, plant right over here. But I'm going to show you. Hang on, let me actually bring my microphone over here so y'all can hear me. How does this sound, David? Does that sound okay? Can you still hear me? Can you hear me now, David?
I can, but I think your iPad is muted.
How about now? Can y'all still hear me? All right, well, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to show you right over here. I'm going to open this up. David, why don't you come on into the show?
Hello. All right, I'm back.
Perfect. Can you hear me?
I can. I don't think your iPad's making any noise right now. It might be because you're on camera, though.
Okay. Now, can you hear me from my main screen?
I can.
Okay, perfect. What we've got going on over here. So now if you look at my screen, you can see on the screen there are three little buttons down at the bottom. There's a 0.5, there's a 1, and then there's a 2. So if I go back, I'm going to first take a look at all of those three different things and see that those are three different levels of zooming. I have the ability to zoom in and zoom out based off of these three sections. Now, if I want to, I can take my finger and I'm going to come show this on the screen. You come look at me.
All right.
You can see, I'm going to flip this around. So if we take our fingers and we actually pinch like this, you'll actually be able to zoom in. So I can zoom in on a specific thing. So I can zoom in here. I can zoom out.
See, I remember those old cameras that if I zoomed in even anything, you couldn't tell what anything is. Now we're sitting here on a phone and you can zoom in all the way.
Right. So if I go, I can even see the numbers changing down at the bottom. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Yeah, it's got that. It's on that right side. It's got that little X to the side of it, right?
Exactly. Now, the other thing I want to bring to notice is the ability that I have with my categories down at the bottom. So if I go back now, I'm gonna cut back to the main screen really quickly, and it's just gonna be me.
All right.
So now, when we're using the camera, we can notice that on our screen, we've got a multitude of different categories. Now, when we see those, we've got time lapse, slow-mo, video, photo, portrait, and pano. Now, those are all very important based on what you're shooting. So if we decide to change our mind on what we're doing, so let's just go back to the basic first before we decide to do anything crazy. Now, David, you have an iPhone, correct?
That's right.
Wonderful. Could you do me a favor? When you go to the camera application, can you actually just push and hold just a little bit harder right on this one spot?
All right, here we go. All right.
You should see something that pops up like this.
There it is. There it is.
Beautiful. Now, what that is called is something called 3D touch. Now, 3D touch gives you the ability to take a selfie, record a video, take a portrait selfie, or I can do other things when it comes to editing my home screen. But I have the ability to have a quick access to go ahead and take photos. Now, beside all that, we want to get into taking photos. So now what we're going to do is we're going to tap directly on camera and we're going to take a photo. But what happens oftentimes is we take a photo like this. We shake our hands. We do this number. And we try to take a photo and then we're using this finger to push here, and our finger pushing down on it isn't really working. So if we focus just back on this one camera, we're going to go back and I'm going to show you, we want things to be a little bit different. Instead of taking our photo with just our hands like this, and we're taking a photo where we're pointing it like this, what we're going to do is we're actually going to cup our hand down at the bottom and we're going to grab it like this. And then what we'll do is we'll use our thumb to take the photo.
Who taught you this?
Huh?
Who taught you this? That's like something you learn from an expert.
Well, you know, David, I am an expert. I am an expert photographer. Look at the composition of this photo. Now, if you'll notice, there is something different that's happening on my screen that's not happening on a lot of y'all's screens. If you notice, there is a grid that is on the screen. So now you can see that I can go, oh, I want this to be level or this to be lined up. So I'm going to line this up here and take my photo. Now, I'm taking the photo with my thumb as I'm holding my hand here to keep my hand steady. Now, the other thing that I want to show you is when you're taking photos, let's say we want to take a landscape photo. So we want to turn it this way, right? If we're doing that, now we can grab the same way with our hands here and tap on the button. But the other thing that we can do is, let's say that other thing that we can do is we can actually take our hand just like an old school camera and we can push the volume up button. And when we push the volume up button, it actually takes a photo for us as well. So now we have two different ways to take photos. Now, sometimes when I'm taking a photo like this, I'll actually just grab here and push the volume up button because it leads my hand to shake less. And so now I'm able to have that photo that I want without the drives on the back of the camera working harder to stabilize my photo. Now, what if we want to take a picture of ourselves, or as the millennials call it, a selfie? So the way that we could do that is we could turn the camera this way, and it makes it a lot harder. Or there's a button on the bottom right-hand corner of our screen that will flip the camera around. Man, I actually look pretty good today. But what's neat about this is I can choose to go in or out and zoom in or out based upon the little thing that we see on the bottom middle portion of the screen. Now, depending on the phone you have, it may be different. Now, one of the things that I always recommend to people is maybe getting a tripod or getting a stand. Because let's say that we want to take a family photo. Now, we all have that person that likes to blink in their photos. We all have that person who likes to move, who likes to do something to get out of the way of our photo. But what we could do is we can take our finger and we can put it right on the home button and we can slide it over to the left or to the right. And when we do, it will start a video and give us the ability to record that. Now, you ask Christopher, a video is not the same as a photo. And I agree with you. It's not. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, but how many words is a video? Now, before we get into that, I want to show you.
That's deep.
What's interesting. Thanks, David. I want to show you what's interesting about a video. So now if we scroll with our finger over to video down at the bottom portion, we see that our button now turned red. So if I tap back up on photo, we see the button go back to white. And now I'm going to tap back on video just to get us back where we were. And so now I can see my whole screen, everything like that. And I'm going to start a video. The way I do that is I just push the red button, just like in any other video camera. Now, while I'm recording, I have the ability to zoom in just like I did before, right? Now, what's also neat, man, it's even got my fingers in here. So let me zoom back in. So even in this instance, what's great is while I'm recording this, what also do we see? In the bottom right-hand corner, there's a white button. That looks exactly like our photo button. So if while I'm recording, I can push this white button, and as I'm pushing the button, I am now taking photos during the video. So now am I not only taking a video, but I'm also able to get a still shot from the video. So now in order to stop, I'm going to hit the red square to stop the video. And I can go back and look at it, and we're going to do that in a second, but we're going to go through these categories first. So in this instance, I want to go in and I want to go back to photo. And I'm going to show you something also that's pretty neat. Now, in the top right-hand corner is a little button that says live. Let me see if I can angle this screen to have it on here.
Oh, that's what we're doing. We're live.
We are live. So now, if we look on the screen, there's a button in the top right-hand corner, which you can now see.
Oh, there we go.
It says live. Now, when we click live, what I could do is I could, let's see, I could highlight this plant, and then right after I take it, I'm going to move it over here. So when I go back to look at my photo, I can push on it, and I can see that how I moved my camera even afterwards. It makes
can you hear if like somebody's talking during a live photo? Can you hear a live photo as well?
I do not believe so. So most of it is just as a quick muted video that is combined into more of like a GIF or a GIF, like a graphics interface format type style to give you the ability. Now, a lot of people really like to take these and make wallpapers out of them. So they'll take their kids laughing or smiling or pushing someone on a swing, and they'll use them as their wallpaper because you can push and hold down and it will activate and create motion. And we can look at that and what that looks like in just a moment. But next I want to show you is a portrait. So if you have a phone past the iPhone 7, I believe, there's a portrait mode. Now, unless I do a selfie portrait mode, which is here, I'm going to go back to photo and show you what a regular photo looks like. My hair's sticking up. Guys, I've been on this thing the entire time. You didn't tell me my hair was sticking up. Come on. But
You were so happy about how you looked earlier. I didn't want to say anything.
I appreciate that. So now this is what a regular photo looks like. We can look at the background. We can see the different things that are happening here and there. But what we can also do is if we switch over to portrait mode, now we can see that things are a little bit blurrier, that my shirt is more pronounced. You're able to see me better than if you would. So I'm going to take a portrait selfie. There's me. And then I'm going to go back to a regular selfie. And so if we look at these two, this is the regular photo. This is the portrait photo.
Oh, you're popping. You pop in the portrait.
Go here, zoom in. We can see this is what I look like regular. And then I seem to kind of come out of the picture in more of a portrait mode, which is what the effect is that you want to give off.
You look happier.
I am happier when I'm in a portrait stand. Now, the next thing I want to show you is a panoramic. Now, I'm probably going to be muted or you probably won't be able to hear me as well. I'm going to go out to my balcony and I'm going to do a panoramic photo. What that means is while I'm doing this panoramic, I will have the ability to take a 275-degree photo. So it is going to go over the landscape that is over North Augusta. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at that and make sure it looks as beautiful as possible. And if you notice, there will be on the screen, there will be a section that gives me the ability to have an arrow that's pointed right there in the middle. And it's directing me, hey, you want to keep your phone straight. Hey, we want to go a little bit slower. Or, hey, you're going up too high or too low, because we want it to be even. That's all across the board. So what we'll do is I'm going to go to the balcony and I'm going to show you how I take this photo.
I'm going to take this moment to say that Chris is taking this picture right now from North Augusta, South Carolina. So this view is not too far away from Barnwell. It's probably a 30-minute drive, maybe a little bit longer. That's the Savannah River. You know, Chris, if anything, I think you're really selling us on your apartment right now.
Well, yeah, that also means don't come harass me. Don't come to my house. I care about everyone that's here, and I hope y'all have the best days, but don't come see me at home. Now what we're going to do is if we look at the bottom left-hand corner, this is neat. A lot of people, what they do is they will say, oh, this is the only way to check my photos, which that is not true. The bottom left-hand corner gives you the ability to look at your most recent photos that you've taken. So since I just have taken a panoramic photo, I'm going to tap on the picture that I see in the bottom left-hand corner.
Let me take this banner down so people can see it.
All right.
Ah, never mind. Your name's too long.
So now I can go here, and when I turn my phone sideways, I can see the entire 270 degrees of my apartment right there. I
Oh,
think it looks pretty good.
Your neighbors need to get their gutters cleaned.
I know that's right. They definitely do. But so we've gone through portrait, we've gone through photo, we've gone through video. We've learned how to zoom in and out. We know what a live photo is. Now, the next thing I want to show you is we've got flash in our top left-hand corner that we can see here. Tap there. We can see that flash is turned on. And the way that we know that flash is turned on is that there is a lightning bolt that is in the left-hand corner. Then what I also enjoy is there's this button at the very top that's an arrow that points up. So if we tap on that, we can look at a whole wide variety of different things that are out there, whether it's timers, the ratio of the photos. But the one I like the most, that I think David likes the most, is the filters. So
yes.
On the button on the far right-hand side, there's 3 circles that are all conjoined. What's that called, David?
An ellipses. Right? An ellipsis?
No, I thought an ellipsis was the 3 dots. There was like
you're talking about this little nuclear sign on your bottom right-hand corner.
Yeah,
I have no idea what that's called, but it looks like a nuclear symbol.
Yeah, it does look like a nuclear symbol.
Just press the nuclear symbol.
Yeah, well, that's what we're going to go with.
Unless it's not on your phone, then don't press it because we don't know what that means.
So if we look on the screen here, we can see that we have a wide variety of different filters. So this is what we're looking at normally, right? And if on our screen we see that above it says original, if we tap on it, we can see that it says now vivid. And we can slowly see different things happening based upon how we want it to look.
Now, Chris, I have a question.
Okay.
With these filters, I feel like sometimes when you're taking a picture, you don't really know what you're going to get until you kind of like have your picture. Can you put a filter on a picture afterwards and then compare it to the original?
You most certainly can, David. That's a great question. So now I've just taken 2 photos. If I want to go back and look at them, I can do so 2 ways. I can tap on the bottom left-hand corner and I can see my 2 photos here. This is the original regular photo. If I swipe to the left, this is one with a filter on it.
Okay.
Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to answer the question that David had posed. Can I go back later and say, you know what, I really like the one with the filter on it? So what I'm going to do is if I go to the top row and I find this icon that says photos, I can tap on it and it will pull those up. And so if I look, this is where we're going to dive in and we're going to stay for probably the next 10, 15 minutes is in our photos. So if you have the Photos app, let's go ahead and open that up and we're going to go through those different things. So we've gone through the camera, we've looked at a wide variety of different things, but open the Photos app and we're going to go through this. Now, first thing is we can look down at the bottom and there's a section that says library. There's a section that says for you. There's a section that says albums. And then there's a section that says search. Now, what I want to do is I want to answer David's questions first, and then we'll jump in to the rest of the dissection of the photo app.
Well, I appreciate that. And my question one more time for anybody new is, how can these filters that you're talking about, can I put them on a picture I've already taken?
Exactly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click right on where it says recents on that top left-hand box.
Okay.
And then I'm going to click on the photo that I see that did not have the filter. So what I do is now I can go up to the very top right-hand corner and there's a button that says edit. When I hit edit, we see those 3 semicircles below. Now you can't see them because there's a banner, but they're there. I promise. There it is.
There we go.
Boom. Innovation. So if we just tap on the 3 circles, we now can see all of our same filters that we had from before. But let's say that, you know what, I feel like those magazines just kind of don't make it look as good. So in the bottom right, there's a symbol that kind of looks similar to this.
Like a square.
I feel like I'm doing a gang sign, which I'm not. I just want you to know that. But it looks like a square with a few extra pieces on it with rotating symbols. So we're going to tap on that. And this will give me the ability to crop it. So I can then grab the corner with my finger and just pick up and move it where I want to. So now,
if you've got some pictures with somebody that you just don't love as much as you used to, the crop tool, fantastic.
Exactly. And if you want more apps to help take out people that you don't like, I can help you out with those too. But now, the edit button allows us to do a lot of different things. We've got auto enhance, we've got exposure, brilliance, highlights, shadows, contrast, brightness, black point, saturation, vibrance, a lot of stuff. Now, most of the time, those are things that you don't want to mess with. You have full free range. And if you end up changing your photo to something you really like, you can hit done in the bottom right and it'll save it that way. So let's just mess it up real quick, just for fun. So if we go over, I'm going to turn up the highlights. I'm going to turn all the way up the shadows, turn up the contrast.
This is starting to be a fancy picture.
Turn down the brightness.
Oh my goodness. This looks like a scene in a horror movie now.
Bingo.
Yeah, the red. Yes.
So you can see that you can do a whole lot to this photo. And if I tap on the screen, I can see the original. And it goes back to the other one. Which one
didn't even know that.
Let's say that I like this version. I don't know why, but let's say that you do like this version. You can hit the done button in the bottom right. And we see that it's saving our photo. So now I have this hideous
Chris, I got to say, I'm going to send you some pictures to edit because I love that. I would print that out and frame that.
There you go. We'll make that some album artwork for you. But if we go in and we actually just got a message from my friend David to send him this photo, and I'm going to do that in a moment. I just don't want to put his number up on the screen for everyone to see and text him. So we will do that momentarily. But now, if we see that we have this photo here, we're going to hit edit. And now instead of seeing a done button, we see a button that says revert. And so revert is going to take us back to the original before we did any editing to it. So I can hit this button and I'm going to say revert to original. And now we're back to a safe, clean version. But we see it even went back to the original before I cropped it. We can still see the magazines that are still in there. So be sure to edit it however you wish, and it's going to work out great for you. And one more thing before we dive too far in, I want you to know how to share your photo. How do you share it? So now if we look at the bottom of our screen, let's see, there is a button that says share, and it's a square with an arrow coming out of it. And so based on where we're at with the airplaying of the screen, it does not allow me to pull that up on my screen, which is probably a good thing so you guys don't see all the people that I've been texting. But what I will do is I am now going to go into our messages, to show you another way that you can do it. That way you can see how we do it. So first, I'm going to tap on messages in the bottom left-hand corner. And what I can do is I can see that I have all these different text messages from people, but in the top right-hand corner, I'm going to click on the button that has a square that looks like a pencil's writing on it, and that's a compose button. So when I do that, I can then write to whoever I want to. So I can then type in their phone number. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in my old phone number at my old parents' house, their landline. So if you call this number, you won't reach me or anybody else. Just want to let you know. But this is the number that you type in any number that you want to or who you're texting, and usually names will pop up with different phone numbers. But then we'll get down to our message. And so when we tap on the message button, we can see that there are the ability for a keyboard. Now, if we look right above the keyboard, there is that same icon that looks like our photos icon. If we tap on that, we can see all the different photos that we've recently taken. We can also see there's a little video camera next to all the videos that we've done. So let's say that I want to send this selfie of myself. I can click on it. Excuse me. And then when I click on it, it then even gives me the ability to, right underneath the photo, to add a comment or send. And I can just say, handsome devil, don't you agree? Question mark. So, and then by pressing the green button, I have the ability to send it off to anybody that I'd like. Same way with email. It gives you that same ability just to send it off right there. We can do that here. I'll take you over to email.
Man, you have a well-decorated phone screen.
Thank you. So if I send a new email, I'm going to send it from my business account, and we'll go in and we can actually create a subject, and we can see right when we're clicking on the body, it gives us the ability to click on this here photo icon. So for all those who didn't see it, one more time, we have the ability right up here with this gray bar. It can give us the ability to change our font, add a picture, take a current picture, add a document, scan a document, or even mark up something. So in case I need to sign something, I have that ability right there.
Are you telling me that we don't need fax machines anymore?
That is exactly what I'm saying. If you have a fax machine, you call me, because I'm sure that we need to help update your technology. 100%. So we'll go ahead and tap on the photo. I can click here to the photo that I want. It automatically gets inserted into the email, and then I can just tap on to and who I want to send it to, and Bob's your uncle. You know, right there, it's in there. You have the ability to send it off. So I'm going to hit cancel. I'm going to delete it, and I'm going to close out of that. Now, let's get back to our camera. But instead of we're clicking on camera, we're going to click back on that Photos application that we talked about. So this is the main screen that we'll see. But also, there's a thing called Faces. Have you ever wanted to find a certain picture of someone and you just thought, man, I wonder where all these people are?
And you're just scrolling for hours.
So you can actually scroll down, and there's a section that says people. So we can click on people, and it will actually find someone in there. So I can.
How does it do that, Chris? That's crazy.
It's something that's built in. This is one of my friends, Chris Naples.
Man, he has lost some weight since that picture.
He has. So this is me, him, and his lovely bride. And this was taken in 2012.
Whew.
But then I can go in and I can see all of these different people based on photos that I had already taken, and it automatically finds them for you. So it's pretty neat. This is my friend Cameron.
You
Here's
have a
all the
lot of
photos we
friends.
take. It's a good beard right there.
Oh my goodness. I've never seen him with that beard. I honestly am upset about that.
Yeah. But Faces is very cool. I think you should check it out. Now, also, what's really neat is there's this thing called Places right next to it. So if we click on that, we can see where I've taken all these different pictures, where I've been, how many photos I've taken, where they've been taken at. One time a lady fell asleep next to me on a plane, and I took this photo with her. So yeah, that's what that picture was about. Also, you used to work at the Daytona International Speedway, and that's where some of these photos in Florida were taken. But so it gives me the ability to see where I've taken my photos. Now, even if we're not inside of the application whatsoever, the other good news is I have the ability to find my photos by my voice. So the way I can do that is I can ask Siri. I can say, show me photos from Denver, Colorado. And immediately it pulls up. Now, this is actually a pretty cool story. I went first time with my buddy Zach, second time with my buddy Cameron and Andrew. And then we went to this place called the Denver Biscuit Company. It was the second time we were there. And they each got us a cinnamon roll that was the size of our hand.
Holy cow.
And I'm a big guy. I've got a big hand. So it's a pretty substantial cinnamon roll and that's bacon on it. But that's beside the point. I have the ability to just type in, if we look at the top of our screen, see where it says Denver, it will then find those photos just by my voice. Now, if we look down at the bottom, we now see that the category has switched from albums to search.
So, Chris, how specific is this? Like, if somebody was taking pictures at like the Gale Rays Senior Center, like, would they be able to see that they took their pictures at that senior center?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Now, the answer to that is if when you set up your phone, there is a setting that says, would you like the camera to know your location? If you said yes.
And this is the reason for that.
Correct. So it can go into as close or as distant as you want it to be. So I can look for Greenville. I can look for a year ago. I can look for whatever. So if you're like, hey, I wonder what I did a year ago today.
Oh, that's a dangerous thing to click.
It is. I don't think I can do it today on this live virtual event. So I'm not going to. So now, what's also neat is this is a thing that a lot of my clients really enjoy, and it's called the For You section. Now, the For You section actually curates photos and videos for you based on certain things that they have found in your photos. So if I click on For You, I can look at the time I went to a YPA anniversary party and they titled it A Big Day. This is not the girl that I'm currently dating. Why that photo is on my phone, I have no clue. This is when I went to hike part of the Appalachian Trail. It just comes up with a lot of different things on here. So if I go over, there's one called Four-Legged Friends. So if I click on it, it will show me all the four-legged friends and the videos and different things that I have right there with all my four-legged friends.
So these are all pictures on your phone.
Correct. Now, also, if we notice, by clicking on four-legged friends, there is a button on the bottom right-hand corner of that top part, and it looks like a play button. So if I hit play, watch what happens.
Oh, man. It's like a Facebook memory.
Exactly. So now Even if I pause it right here on my screen, it actually gives me the ability to change it to uplifting, epic, club, extreme. I have the ability to change it however I want to. And I can say, do I want to make it short, or do I want to make it medium, or do I want to make it long? So I'm going to say medium, and I want it to be epic. It doesn't want to let me do epic. Let's do chill or gentle. So based on what I'm feeling, how I'm feeling, what I want the video to look like, it will make a video slideshow based on things that I already like, things that I already have in my phone.
The
And so
location thing, that's a setting. Is this a setting as well, or is this going to automatically happen?
this is built into your phone underneath your For You section that is at the bottom of your phone. So I would encourage you to go through and look at different things that you have, whether it be, so I've got like Augusta, I've got fall. That's a great photo of James, if you know James. Just different folks. Recent highlights on this day. I was actually doing a photo shoot for the Augusta Christian. You know, this is when I caught this big fish. So all these different photos are me fishing. So pretty crazy. But you're
So like
able
the real application of this for especially like seniors is like, so this could potentially sort like grandchildren photos and like family photos and stuff like that.
not only that, but imagine trips to the beach or vacation photos or whatever. And now, instead of you having to learn everything that you wanted to about this vacation, now you're able to take this slideshow and then you're able to click right on it, hit play, and it still gives you the ability to hit the share button at the bottom and share it out to people. And so
So
now
can
you have
send
that
these to
ability.
people.
Say what?
So you can send these to people.
You can send them right to folks and say, hey, here's a slideshow from our vacation trip. This is from our Viking cruise. This is from whatever we have gone on and done. This is from the Disney cruise or the trip to Disney that we had. And here's all the photos from it. And you're able to change the music. You're able to change the length. And it automatically does the transitions and slides for you automatically. So now, the last section that we see on here is called library. Now, library gives you the ability to look at all of your photos, not just the recents, your days, your months, or your years. And we can see that based on the bottom left-hand corner. So we've got all of these different photos over the years. So this is
man.
2012.
They get crazier as you go back.
That's correct. So I'm able to go in and I can even, so as I clicked on the year, I was able to see that it went into months. So now I can say, oh, I know I took this photo in 2012. And so I can go through January, February, March, and then see if it was around that time. So here's when I went to a wedding in 2012, which I can't believe it's been that long. This is me and my friend Britta. And if you know Britta, she's a great girl. She's actually a doctor in emergency medicine now. So she's a big deal. But this is my friend Paul. We're about 6'6", and this is the bathroom for us. But it just depends. You can find now photos based upon the time frames that you're looking for. So For me, I break down things by album. So I have like a favorites album. So now let me show you how to do that. So if I click on this photo and I really enjoy this photo, when you click on that photo, there is a button that's on the very bottom that you'll see that is shaped like a heart. So when I click that button and it fills in the heart, that photo will now see on the bottom left here, we see that heart symbol there. But now if we look at this album called Favorites, that photo is now right there. Got this picture of my lovely girlfriend. So we took this photo for Christmas, and yeah. And so now I marked it as a favorite because I said, hey, I've edited it the way I wanted it to. I've done everything like that. I now can pull from this to post or to do whatever I want to. I don't have to search for that one good photo that we took out of the 15 or 20. So, yeah, I would say check out those different things. Also, any other questions that we have when it comes to the camera or anything that you are curious about. Now, if you are more of an avid or an advanced user, I do have a few other apps that I'd recommend, such as Snapseed, which is up here at the top, right next to the camera app, Lightroom, which is pretty cool, as well as Afterlight, Visco, Moment, and Retro. Now, Moment does cost money, but it does give you the ability to go in and you can change the saturation. You can change whether it's a raw footage file. You can change the white balance, the ISO, the everything. You can. That
sounds like a whole extra class.
Oh, 100%. You can add presets to it. You can do all of the above. It is a very advanced device. Also, my case has a cinema lens quality attachment that will go on it to further add to the app, but that's neither here nor there. But does anyone have any questions? Do we get any questions from any of the other places?
No questions.
I would love to revisit anything that you guys had questions on, or talk about things that you guys find important or deem worthy to learn while in this Tech 101.
Well, no questions. I've kind of been harassing you the whole time with my questions, so I appreciate you putting up with that.
No problem.
So Chris, thank you for stopping by today. Chris from North Augusta, South Carolina, not too far away from us in Barnwell. Do you know what we're going to be doing next week?
Next week, I did think that we were going to go through notes as well as word processing. Okay. I know that writing a lot of letters, a lot of my clients like to do recipes, print out different things. It came to my recent knowledge that this generation that we're in currently, that I'm in, will be the last generation that has printed photos. So if you're looking for something that does photos, there's an app called Chatbooks that I would highly recommend. That's Chatbooks with 2 T's. They're fantastic. I'd highly recommend it. But also, yeah, we're going to be going through like word processing. We're going to go through Microsoft Word as well as Apple's version, which is called Pages. We'll even look at Google Docs, and we'll go through a whole list of other things. But that could change based on who comments and what is out there and what they want to see. But it was great spending time today with you folks, and I look forward to seeing you shortly.
Chris, thanks for being here, man. If you guys would like to meet Chris, do any kind of lessons with Chris, meet his team at mobilementors.co, because he is a man of the future, so he doesn't need the com, he just has the co.
That is correct.
Chris, thank you so much for being here, man. We'll see you next week.
Sounds great, David. Talk to you soon.